Hey, welcome back, mi familia. This is our first video of 2017. Hopefully it'll be a great year, not only for the channel, but for all of you out there who are watching. Thank you everybody for the great support in 2016, and hopefully we'll continue into 2017 and we can have a beautiful year. So this is a match I got off of my stream before I went on vacation, and I have like one or two things I want to talk about after the battle itself. So if you guys could kind of stick around for that, then I would really appreciate it. But I'm using this pretty cool sticky web team I got off of the Smogon forums, and I'm facing one of my Twitch viewers, which I'm not sure if he's got a YouTube or not. But going into this match, that Mega Scizor and that Tapu Koko were probably going to be the two biggest things I had to watch out for. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this match. So I do lead off with my Zygarde, expecting him to want to lead off with the Nilago because I don't have any form of hazard removal on this team. So if he got up a layer of T-Spikes with me being sub-Coral Zygarde, which can absolutely destroy my opponent, if I get poisoned later in the match, then obviously I'm not going to be able to sweep. So my thought process was to lead off with Zygarde, set up a substitute, and just try to deal out as much damage as I possibly can, as he's going to switch into his Beware. Because he switched it in, I was thinking that maybe he wasn't Sash Nilago, so I may have to worry about that later in this match. Either way though, I'm able to do a pretty good amount of damage to this Beware, considering that I'm not running any attack EVs. Unfortunately though, I am going to fall short of being able to 3-hit KO him. So as he breaks my substitute with the Ice Punch, I have no reason to stay in here and go for another 1,000 arrows, because there's the chance I could miss, and then there's also the chance I'm not going to knock him out. So I'm going to switch out into my Smeargle here, thinking that because I do have max HP, I should be able to live one Ice Punch, and then hopefully I will be able to at least get up my rocks, or I could go for the sticky webs. In hindsight, what I should have done was gone for the Spore, but there was the possibility that he was going to switch into his Dhelmise, which can obviously carry the Rapid Spin. So expecting him to just knock me out here, I'm going to take this chance to go ahead and go for the Spore, but he actually ends up going for a layer of T-Spikes, which again, I have no way of getting rid of those hazards, and now my Zygarde can no longer set up later in this match. So that is going to be very, very annoying to play around with, and every time I stay in, obviously the toxic damage is going to be doing more and more damage to me. So here I did expect him to want to switch out, so I pulled the double switch into my Kartana. In hindsight, I should have switched into Pinsir, because I could have Mega Evolved with my Mega Pinsir and prevented him from spinning away my rocks here. Instead, I go for the Swords Dance on the off chance that maybe he wanted to switch, thinking that I could knock him out with the Night Slash, or if he didn't want to go straight for the Rapid Spin, but he does end up spinning, and now I'm at +2 with Life Orb. Nothing on his team is switching into this attack, so I'm able to just nuke the Dhelmise, which is actually pretty good, because if I'm able to bring in my Smeargle, then I may be able to at least get up my rocks again later in this match. As he brings in the Pyukumuku, obviously he can knock me out with the Innards out. Even though I am at +3, there's no reason for me to risk Kartana, because Kartana can still put in some work later in the match. As I switch into my Smeargle here, I miscalculated, and I thought that after rocks and toxic damage I would be able to live and then possibly go for my rocks so I could have them up for the remainder of the match. Unfortunately though, that is not the case. As I get knocked out, I'm in a very bad disadvantage in this match, because my opponent has rocks and T-Spikes up, and I have no other form of getting up an entry hazard on his side of the field. So this is a bit of an uphill match, as much to my surprise, Pyukumuku lives a modest Magnet Volt Switch from Circuitries. Like, I was not expecting that at all. As I bring in my Tapu Lele, he's gonna go for the Toxic, and now I'm in a pretty good scenario where I can honestly just Psychic and either knock out this Pyukumuku or potentially 2 KO whatever he decides to bring in. And he could risk bringing in the Scizor, but then at that point he risks me going for the HP Fire or even the Focus Blast, as he's gonna sack off his Nilago. He did turn out to be Focus Sash, so maybe he didn't want to stand against my Zygarde trying to get up that layer of T-Spike, which he was able to later in the match. But I'm able to 2-hit KO the Nilago, as he's able to rack up toxic damage on me, and he's going to bring in the Tapu Koko. Now, I still am a little skeptical on whether or not Psychic could have knocked out Tapu Koko. outside of Psychic Terrain, so I decided to just switch into my Zygarde, basically as Death Fodder, because there was still the possibility that he was going to go for the Dazzling Gleam, but he ends up going for the Wild Charge, which I was not expecting at all. Now, I've tried out Physical Tapu Koko, and I'm expecting him to be a Life Orb variant, so there is the chance that maybe he could have the Hidden Power Ice, but in the off chance that he didn't, I'm still just going to stay in here and go for the offensive move as he goes for the U-turn. So I'm guessing he's not a choice variant, which means he could maybe be Expert Belt or carrying some type of Z move, but I'm able to knock out the Pikamuku, and because it is at that low amount of HP, I'm not going to be taking too much damage to my Zygarde, although the Toxic is really starting to wear me down at this point as he brings in the Beware. Again, there's no way I can knock him out with the 1000 Arrow at this range, but I will be able to do a very solid amount of damage as he's going to just nuke me with the superpower, but I'm able to live. However, though, those damn T-Spikes, man, those damn Toxic Spikes are going to knock out my Zygarde, which does kind of suck because if I had made the pincer play and prevented him from rapid spinning, then I would have been able to knock him out with that 1000 arrows, saving my Zygarde, but it's okay because now I basically get a free beast boost with my Kartana, so it's a good thing I did decide to save my Kartana instead of trying to sack it off to the Pikamuku to take it down. So I'm a +1 attack, sitting at a very solid speed stat, as he's going to bring in the Scizor instead of bringing in the Tapu Koko, and this is where I was 100% convinced that that Tapu Koko was definitely all physical and not a mixed variant, because he should have been able to just bring in the Tapu Koko to knock me out with a Thunderbolt at the amount of HP that I'm at in Electric Terrain, because Kartana Spadef is like base 1. So that's basically why I expected him to bring in the Tapu Koko instead of the Scizor, but as a U turns out, I'm able to get off a huge hit on the Mega Scizor, and is going to bring in the Tapu Koko to knock me out with the U-turn, which, again, I wasn't expecting this either, because it's not stabbed, it's not super effective, and Kartana has an amazing physical defense stat. Either way, though, it's fine, because as a U-turns into the Scizor, I can get a free switch into my Xurkitrees, and after the damage I got off with the Sacred Sword, I will be able to indeed knock him out with the modest Magnet Thunderbolt, giving me the +1 in my special attack, if I'm not mistaken. And if Tapu Koko can't knock me out with any move that it decides to go for, then it looks like Xurkitrees here is going to pick up the final KO. If not, then I still have my Scarf Tapu Lele in the back, which should be able to outspeed this Tapu Koko, because he's not choice Scarfed, and he's not choiced in any sort of way because he was able to switch up moves against my Zygarde. So he does end up going for the U-turn. As I do live, I'm going to be able to just straight nuke him with the Thunderbolt in Electric. This is like complete overkill. That was modest Magnet +1 in Electric Terrain. I don't give a damn if you resist that. But yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy the battle. Now, the two things I wanted to talk about is, for those of you who may have not seen it yet, then I did upload an update video around Tuesday of last week, if I'm not mistaken, just kind of talking about what's going to be happening in 2017. So if you guys haven't seen that, I would really appreciate your feedback on that update video. Also, streaming, I will be streaming daily or just about daily shiny hunting and Wi-Fi battles mainly, and then I want to dedicate a day or two to doing like showdown live battles, because I know not everybody has competitive mons for Sun and Moon. And then I may like throw in some Overwatch here and there, like maybe once a week I can do Overwatch for those of you who may have Overwatch, so you guys can come out, play, and hang out. And I think that's really it, guys. If you did enjoy the battle, again, please make sure to hit the like button down below. Your support is greatly appreciated. Here is to a great 2017 for all of us, and I just hope you guys enjoy my content. So with that being said, I will see you all tomorrow. Just yeah, later everybody.
Cause my brain and heart are both tied in the knot, and this hinders me from crying a lot. This causing me to show no emotion, but when I said I cared, I wasn't joking. But I guess it's too late for me to become broken. For now, I'm living with no more pain, tears, or hoping. I'm just coasting. Yeah, I said I'm coasting. No more pain, tears, and hoping. For real.